Welcome back to Lord of the Rings Rise to War. Today we have an interesting video for you guys today. It's different from the normal videos. And the reason why it's going to be different is because we're basically going to go over the top 3 things that I think that is destroying this game in general. Like why I think the game is, you're not getting as many new players coming in, we're losing a lot of players, and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So that's what I kind of want to discuss today in this video. It's something different, and the reason why I want to discuss it is because I really do love this game. I love this game a lot, and I want it to see it succeed. So I'm hoping that it will succeed by giving these few tips, and hopefully a game dev might see this or you guys can relay this. But I just kind of want to get this off my chest because it is a little annoying, especially for players who do love this game. And if you agree, let me know, but let's get right into it. So the first problem that I've noticed in this game, the first and biggest problem, is the unbalanced player, the amount of unbalanced, what I mean by unbalanced players, like how many players are in one faction compared to another, and they are just clearly dominating the season. And it's fine to see a faction or 2 or even 3 really up there, but when you see 2 top factions that clearly outrank all the other factions, and it's just really annoying. And then with the new faction where you could join each other, which I think is a great idea. I love it so much. The fact that you can unite factions is a great idea. I just don't like when the 2 top factions, this is ever since it came out, the faction, I don't know if it's been like this for you guys, but ever since it's came out, the United faction, every season that I've been in, the top 2 factions always join together and they dominate a season. And it's happening again in this season. And I'm not one of those people who just switches over, right? I don't do that. I'm not that type of person. I'm going to stick with the faction I did. It just kind of sucks when you can't get your units to level, you can't even get your units, your commanders to level 40 without losing all your territory. And I get they're just playing the game. It's not their players' fault. It's the game dev's fault for not allowing some sort of balance or allowing this. So there are 2 things that I think they could do to fix this, to prevent just complete domination from the 2 top factions just sweeping over or just dominating the server. Is that the first thing they could do is don't allow the top 2 strongest in power production factions unite together. If they try to unite, they can't unite together. I know this isn't going to completely stop it, and they could just mutually agree not to attack each other and mutually agree to work together. I get that, but at least it will start preventing some of this just complete downfall. Because I joined Lothlorien for my first season. I've always chosen Gondor, or Rohan one. And the first time I change up to a different season, we're doing fine power production wise. But if you check out the map, I was originally over here in this part of the area, and then they ended up coming over and just invading, and then I moved down here, and they ended up coming over and just invading. And I got uprooted over here, and I'm hoping at least this time I could spread out and get some territory without having to get taken. So it's a little annoying when they have all this they could still do, and they're just doing too aggressive. And it's because they had so many players at the start of the season that they're able to be aggressive, and they could shut down an entire faction like us, which we could have been like the top 3 faction. It's just we just got shut down early, and it sucks. Because they had over at least 200, maybe 150 more players than us. Now, I'm not saying that it's the faction's fault. They're just playing the game. That's smart for what they do. Go shut down a faction early, take all their territory early, force them into PvP early so they can't spend resources building. If you have the players to go do that while maintaining your own faction's production, do it. Alright? It's a smart thing to do. I just think it's annoying, and that the game devs should look into look into that into depth some more. Another thing, and the reason why I think the two top factions should not be allowed to form together is because their equal power production completely trumps the entire server. If you add all this up, all their factions, all the Gondor factions, Gondor and including all their little half factions, they completely dominate the top 10 factions. You got 2 versus you got. Hold on, let's just do it right now real quick. We have 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You have right around 8. You have right around. It's too much. When the ally factions have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we have 5 million. Not even 5 million because it doesn't even add up to that. But we have right around 4.5 million power production, and the top 2 already match that. So that means they already have 2. They have 3 more. It's just 3 mil. I don't like it. It's not fair for the top 2 dominating factions to join forces. It's completely unbiased. It's not unbiased. It's completely unfair to the rest of the community. And I see in the world chat people complaining all the time and yelling at players, and it gets toxic, and it's really annoying. And it's something that the game devs really need to look into, because it shouldn't be allowed. The top 2 dominating factions should not be allowed to join together. It shouldn't be a thing. It shouldn't. And plus, it would make the game more interesting if they fought each other, because then you did more. It just makes it more interesting. Another thing that they could do to help prevent such a just complete spread and domination of the server by enemy factions that you're fighting is allow. This is a new idea, but allow about I would say every 3 days, you and your united faction could take a 6-hour vote to vote for a 12-hour peace shield. Basically, you could activate a peace shield where you can't take tiles, any enemy tiles, and they can't take any, and any of the factions can't take tiles. So it gives you and your allies, or just your faction if you haven't teamed up with anybody, 12 hours to just kind of regroup, just get the healing done, get some more troops reduced. And then also the benefits of allowing a 12-hour peacetime for a faction that's getting completely run over is that it helps them stay in the game longer, and it helps, and then also when that 12 hours is up, it leads to bigger clashes and fights that are more satisfying to do, instead of these small scuffles you see around the map. And I think like every 3 days, you guys should be allowed, every like 48, 68 hours, 68 hours, you know what I mean? Every couple days, you should be allowed to activate a 12-hour peace shield. Your faction or united faction should be able to activate that peace shield to just give you a break, so you don't get mopped over. And what I mean by can't take tiles, if you own a territory, this is just an idea. If you own it, like this territory right here, right, and the dwarves are coming over, right? They're trying to take this. If you activate that peace shield, they can't take the capital or take any neutral land inside that bubble, inside the land. And we can't take none of theirs either. But it will allow that faction that's getting just dominated a break to regroup and to try something. I don't know. It's just an idea. Another thing that's been plaguing the game is chat. Chat has been extremely toxic, and not towards me. I don't communicate much in chat. I actually enjoy watching it because it's really funny. You do get good people in chat, but you get people using the words farmers or they're just being toxic in the chat, and I don't see, and then it just infuriates more people. Or you get people who brag, and it's just like it's healthy to an extent, but the fact that you can't report a player that is saying, "Oh, you guys are being crybabies, stop crying all the time," and he says it, and I literally made a joke in the chat. I usually don't get in on them, but I literally made a joke because he said that like 20 times. Every time he wrote a message, it said he had the word crybaby in it. And I said, I bet $5 he's gonna have Crybaby in his next one. And I kid you not, about 30 seconds later, he's like, oh, you guys are all just cry. And it's just like, and the fact that you can't report him unitedly and report a player who's ruined, because you don't want to just block people. I get they have a block function, but you see people talking in chat, and if you start blocking people, you don't start seeing some of that, because it's just really annoying that you can't, and it just ruins the chat flow of the chat. You know what I mean? If you start blocking people you don't like, or blocking people that are toxic, it's great. You don't have to listen to their crap anymore. But you start seeing people in chat, and chat doesn't make sense. You can't follow along in chat. And that's why I don't like blocking people. I'd like to be able to follow what's going on in the chat rooms. And that's why I think just blocking people is a complete, just utter, it's not good. You shouldn't have to block them. You should be able to report them and get that person chat banned, and have them receive, up to 3 bans or something if they keep doing it, stuff like that, whatever they think is fair. Another problem that is plaguing the current game as of right now, sorry, my game's frozen up. Another thing that is plaguing the game is it's the new players. Right now I'm seeing a couple new players that are like a season in or 2 seasons in, and they are at a complete disadvantage when they're fighting other players. I'm currently 6 seasons in, so I started, I believe, I wasn't a beta tester, but I believe I started right as the game came out. So you got all these new players that are coming in, and they're seeing that they're fighting people that have 6 seasons on them. That means more time for math and chest openings. They just have more stuff, more commanders, more upgraded, and you just see them leaving. And it just really, we're stuck with this group of people who have been following the game, but we got all these new players that are coming in at a huge disadvantage. I don't know if the game devs are releasing like start packages, like gift codes, like come start now, get like 20, 30 math medals or something up front if you start. I don't know if the game devs are doing that. I don't know. And I hope they are, because it's just the new influx of new players into the game is, I don't know how to fix that. You can't just give them a bunch of free loot, because players like us who have spent money and time into the game would be like, oh, well, I should have just came in now instead of later, right? And I believe a good way to fix that is giving them like a free commander, like a Gandalf, or like a free tier 2 commander, like a Legolas, a Gimli, or just a free draw from a free draw for the good commanders. And I think that would help a lot, because at least they'll have a good commander. And also, when they draw that commander, have that commander be R5 at the start, and only a level 2 commander, a tier 2 commander. And when they get that free draw, they get a free R5 tier 2 commander. Is probably something they could try to help new players out in the game. It could be any tier 2, really. It would suck if they got a shitty tier 2, but at least it'll show, at least they'll have a competent, most players will have a competent team or a competent commander to do PvP in, because it's just really sad to see the state of the game, because it's just, we're not getting any new players into the game, and the players that do stick around are just sticking around because they like Lord of the Rings or something, and they're dedicated. But it's just one of the things that I think is plaguing the game, is that we're not seeing an influx of new players. We're getting a bunch of these. And I don't mind the players that are currently in the game. It's just the players that are currently in the game, they slowly dissipate over time, and the player base just gets lower and lower. And I'm afraid that this game's gonna die. And I don't want to have to call my bank in a year from now to get all my money back from all the money I spent this year, because I will do that. If this game cannot succeed, and we can't have a healthy player of people in this game for this game to succeed, and the game fails, I'm going to call my bank and file a dispute on all these charges. I've been keeping track. I'm not trying to threaten the game devs or anything with doing that, but if I can't play a game for at least 5 years, because I've been playing Skyrim and stuff for my whole life, you know what I mean? And those are the games I don't mind spending money on. And it's just like, for mobile games, it's different. And I just hope this game lasts. And that's why I wanted to make this video for this game, because I put a lot of love and energy into this game. And if you guys have too, you would feel this way. So let me know down in the comments if there's any other suggestions or any other things that are plaguing this game. Let me know. I think I went over the top 3. You know, we have you know, toxic players that are still in the community that we can't get chat banned. We have, and they're not swearing or anything, but it's the way they use their words. You know what I mean? It's like you can't. They're not going to block them. So they need a more broader sense of harassment. I think that's what it would count as. And then another thing is we need a way for new players to join the game, because the player base is slowly dwindling, and all the players that do join are just leaving because they're outmatched. And then the third thing that needs to be fixed, and probably one of the biggest, is the current power balance in the seasons and servers, allowing the biggest factions to join together with no peace or anything. The fact that you can't protect yourself and you could get swept aside, and like this is the worst season. Every season I've been able to, the objective is like reach ring level 70 and be the first 500 players. I have always been able to complete that objective. I've always been the top 500 to do that. But this season I wasn't. And it's because we got swept aside, and it's just not fair that happens. So if you guys agree, let me know down in the comments. This is Zane's Mobile. Thank you guys so much for paying attention. I know this wasn't a lot of gameplay or anything. It's just me ranting. But thank you guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.